Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setup for today. So pretty big week to the downside. You can see there proper rejection off this area here, and it's not exact, but you get the picture. So you've got the moving average crossover, and we've broken below the 155. So for me at the moment, just looking at the weekly, we have some weekly levels here which are going to come into play, and I just want to get them all in here. So you can see this area right here where we are. Look to the left here, look at all of that previous resistance here, and then we found support there as well with a gap up. So for me at the moment, 50-50, the oscillators all over the place on the weekly. We've had a fairly strong moves to the downside, but we're going to need to start dropping below not necessarily that level, but this swing low here, for me to start saying, okay, we've got a lot more moves to the downside coming. So for me, this is still a big area of consolidation on the DAX. It is a massive area, and if I just put the top level in, you'll see that kind of the top area, and we're looking to try and form a base to the downside, from my opinion anyway. So if we just start looking at the levels that we want to be trading, so that was a massive move on Friday. You can see small bars getting to a big exhaustion bar, inside bar forming, and then we've got a gap down. This could be an exhaustion gap down. We've got lots of support here, so oscillators are all grouped to the downside as well. Not an area I want to be short. So for me, the short has been done. We're looking for a short higher up. So we want price to come back up, test the breakout for another opportunity to be short. For me, I'm a little bit wary about the range, and it is a bigger range. So if you look to the left, you can see quite a bit of interaction here. So what we want to do is I'm going to adjust this one. There's our first level, and then the next level is going to be somewhere in that area there, which is kind of just where we've gapped below. But then also you've got the gap itself that you need to pay attention to, and it's a weekly gap. Look at the oscillators, look how far we are from the moving averages. Granted, it's a crossover, we should be looking for a bearish move, but not when the oscillators are like that. So I'm looking for a pullback onto some form of structure. So moving down to the hour, same picture here. Trend is down, but we're looking for a move back to some kind of a breakout retest. And I'm just going to readjust that to that level there. So 13,739 to 13,881. That's what I'm looking for a move back up into this area for an opportunity to short. What may happen is we may just open up and then continue. And if you look at the 15-minute oscillators, that's exactly what is implying it's going to happen. So a couple of ways of playing it. Just look on the lower time frames for some structure, but there's still no structure here. This is the closest bit of structure. So what you may see is a move up, and then you can start putting micro levels in. So there's a little micro level that's forming there. So break below, come back and test it, and then move to the downside. But I reckon you're probably going to be held up by 13,435. If it gets through that, you're definitely going to be held up by 13,298. So still downside, I reckon. We still should continue this downward trend, but what we're looking for is back up to structure and then an opportunity to short off it. And we haven't really had much structure the last couple of days. It's been moving down. It's been a pretty tough one. So I wouldn't expect that to change at the moment. So cautious it is. Be very, very cautious. Pay attention to what's going on. The bigger move up means a much more comfortable opportunity to jump in short. So basically what it's going to mean is anything we get, any move back up to test this breakout here, specifically this one at 13,739. If you look at this, you've got a 180 point stop loss, and then I'm pretty sure you're going to be targeting 13,440 at 289 points. So that's better than a one-to-one trade. But then if you start targeting 13,300, you've got a 2-to-1 trade. So that's the setup that I can see at the moment on the DAX. Trend is down, you're looking for opportunity short, but you don't want to be jumping in short down here, not unless you get some kind of lower time frame pattern, and it could also be something on the 5 minute. So if you look at the 5 minute, you can see you're going to be looking, you don't really have any fractals to pay attention to, but you've got this, you've got a gap here, you've got any one of these closes here on the bar, which could act as a sort of a magnet, an opportunity to short into it. The other way of looking at it on the lower time frames is you do have a bit of a trend line. So as I said to you now, let me just use this one. I said to you there's a micro level right here. So that measured move up for the triangle, and then look for the rejection, or what you're looking for is a break and retest of this area at 13,557. So that gives you a 40-point stop loss. So then it starts becoming a little bit of a better opportunity. So call it a 50-point stop loss for 110-point gain. That's kind of the way that I'd be trading this. So if it does break this, that's the way we'd play it. Otherwise, we're waiting for a move up to the top. But just be cautious, because higher time frames are all extremely oversold. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.